Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Got a SK modified open series race for you here, week 3 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Going out for qualifying. Going to be starting lap 2. I had an issue coming out of turn 4 in lap 1, so I just decided to start back over and show you guys this one lap. So actually running a race setup just to try to feel it out for the track conditions. Feel like it's not actually all that far off from my qualifying pace, and I just want to make sure that I don't need to make any last minute adjustments to my race setup before the start of the race. So may sacrifice a little bit of time, but shouldn't be too much. See, I'm 3rd right now, so hopefully not that far off from pole sitter, but feel pretty good when knowing that's my race setup and not even like a qualifying that could run fast. Only about 4 tenths or 400ths off. Car number 4 out of 15. Pretty weak strength field overall, and not sure what's gonna go on with the race itself. Let's see, I might actually loosen it up.
That's the end of the session. P3.
Just to make sure I can rotate a little better. It felt a little tight to me. So only 9 out of 15 qualified. So top 3rd makes me feel a little better. That lap time is probably pretty far off from what the fastest guys can go. You can see there's a big gap between 5th and 6th, between the 5 and the 13. So hopefully this field can get spread out and be decent overall. Gonna just double check to make sure I got my fuel right. Okay, we're good on fuel. I pull up session best lap. I tried to get you guys a super late model fixed series race. I ran 3 of them. All 3 were just bad for various reasons, between a ton of wrecks, ton of not clean driving. I had some connection issues in one of them, so wasn't able to get anything that was worth showing you guys at all. And unfortunately, both safety rating and iRating have taken a huge hit. Safety rating far more than the iRating, so may stay away from that if I cannot get the safety rating rebounded quickly. The iRating, can just happen. That's kind of the reality of it, and I'm not quite as worried about that one. But safety rating, for sure, I got to get that back up because it's lower than I started the season. So
stay behind.
Don't want to run the risk of getting demoted out of a B license. So I still want that option to run B-Class Xfinity Fixed Series races if I'd like to. So gonna hopefully start clicking off some cleaner races, that may dictate a couple series that I don't run, at least until I can get it back up, into the mid-2s where I feel a little more comfortable. I think sadly I'm at like 1.2 something. It's really bad how bad the super late models just destroyed everything. So this is probably not one of the better series for doing that, but I'm hoping since it's open setup and I can generally find a little bit of better pace and a little bit of cleaner driving, that I can just try to get through this a little bit cleaner. There may be some other series that I may run that I haven't yet, in an effort to try to find a little bit of clean safety rating. We are off and rolling. Leader took the opportunity to go almost instantly. He got a really good jump. We've got a wreck down the front stretch because of that. That kind of just stacked everybody up. So that is allowing 3 of us to pull away. The 5 got a good start on the inside as well. The 1 just got absolutely drilled on the front stretch. That was absolutely crazy wreck. I can see that in the rearview mirror. So going to have to watch that. We've got the 7 coming way up, which just took out the leader. So yeah, that's glad I saw him rolling up the track. I don't know what happened there. I'm not really sure why the 7 was going up the track. I think that's don't think there was any intentional harm by that. I think that was just somebody not rated very well doing something stupid. So either way, in the lead, you can see there's just carnage everywhere. Not even sure how many cars are on the lead lap at this point. So hopefully can finally get you guys a win in an oval series. But using this as a good shot to try to run some clean laps, hopefully get to evaluate the race setup, see how well it did. I wish there was some better drivers in here, just so that I could have an idea, you know, where I stack up against the best. But you know, also, you know, not taking anything away from the 2 or the 1, but obviously they got involved in the stuff early on, so it's tough to evaluate my setup against them when they had problems so early on. So looks like there's at least 4 on the lead lap. Got a pretty good gap overall, though. I'll check that at the line, but it was right around a second. Just had to give up a little bit of time trying to get by the 2. But if we can run clean laps, stay out front like this, this could give me the shot to get 40 clean in with no incidents, and at least start to try to rebuild that safety rating a little bit, as well as the I rating. Would love to try to get into the 3s if I can for lap times. Not sure if car is going to be able to do it. Balance wise, it feels pretty good right now. Honestly, probably could even go a little bit looser, but overall it's not too bad. You see 1.2 back to the 5 behind.
We're setting the pace.
So keep an eye on that as
Houston behind
go.
us now. 1.23.
Still running off some decently consistent laps.
That was 18.44.
Just kind of cruising. This is actually a really fun track to run. Was kind of struggling to figure out the setup and the line initially, but I really actually enjoy this track. Obviously, it's a shame that it is no longer with us in real life, and I'm very disappointed that I never got to go to this track to see a race in real life. But this is even for SKs, you know, which tend to make a lot of tracks not very fun. This is actually a very enjoyable track. So would love to do some other series here before. It's definitely a good track for driving for sure. Got some lap traffic I'm going to be coming up to. Should finally be able to click off my lap in the 3s. Just going to have to be as careful as I can getting around these slower cars. No reason to push it because I've got such a big lead. Just pick them off as carefully and safely as possible. 3 hangs to the outside, thank you to him.
Hold your line. Clear outside.
Gonna have to watch out for the 14 and the 9 next. Sometimes when you get guys that are lower ratings, sometimes they're racecraft and being alert of when to move for the leader is not as good. But I need to be aware of that and make sure that I don't put myself in any situations I don't need to. Gonna get the curb markings there. Thankfully it doesn't upset the car too much. Gonna have to watch how I catch the 9 to make sure that I can find a good place to get by him.
Your lap time was 18.87.
3 as expected, it's got a little bit of pace, he's kind of following through. Gonna get to the inside of the 9, use some brakes to make sure I don't get into him, clear him, no problem. Thank you to him for being respectful, for staying up. And just gonna start getting back into a rhythm. Try to get back into some laps. Got the 8 up ahead. Will be the next one if we get to him, which I imagine we will before the end of the races. We're only 17 down with 23 to go. Not quite to halfway yet. Overshot the corner. It's a very good thing I don't have anybody on my bumper, because they would have easily been able to take advantage of that missed corner. I'll have to look. It'll be really tough to compare, but I'll have to look and see if I actually had faster lap times than the 2, or if it would have been a good battle between the 2 of us. I feel like I had the potential to run faster than him because, like I said, I used a race setup to qualify. I was only 400ths off, and you know, my race setup typically doesn't hit its fastest until, you know, 7 to 8 laps in. Kind of took a weird line there, shallow entry to get by the 8, so hear CrewChief saying the gap's opening up to about 3.5 seconds, so that's good. Really no pressure behind.
Alright, Jake, that's half distance. Fuel levels are fine.
Halfway through, I made sure to increase the fuel levels a little bit this time so that I wouldn't have the same issue as I had last week at North Wilkesboro and having to save for part of the race. Wanted to make sure I could run my hardest the entire race.
That lap was at 18.51.
13 will be the next car I get to, although I've got some time before I get to him. Just trying to get back into a little more consistent laps. Trying to make sure I don't overshoot corners, but not clip the curbing through 1 and 2. Curb's a big deal not to hit 1 and 2, and then my big thing is I can't come in too shallow into turn 3 because it puts me in a really bad position coming off of 4. That usually leads me into getting into the outside wall down the front stretch. Just trying to click these laps off as quickly and as easily as I can. Try to run in as consistent of a lap as I can, but not putting myself in too much of a risk to risk giving up the lead at all. You can see it's about 5 seconds now, so in theory should be one of the faster cars out on the track. Shouldn't have any risk if I can just get by people cleanly to not finish first, and should be able to have a good chance at a incident-free race. Gonna have 14 to go next time by, so about a third of the race left. I have to figure out the best place to get by the 13 as he's hopefully going to move. We'll see, we'll try to get inside of him going into turn 3. He cuts down.
Clear to the wall.
Kind of hit the brakes to back out of it a little bit.
Still there. Clear high.
Able to clear him down the front stretch, although it really messes up the entry into 1. He kind of drove it in a bit deep. You see him shoot way up. 15 is going to be the next one. Take a look at the standings page in a minute. The F2 got the 11 to the inside. He had a problem. Should move the 15 ahead up to 3rd. Gonna go to his inside into 1. He stays high. Thank you to him. So now there's only one other car on the lead lap besides me. It'll be just the 5 is the last one. These hold pretty consistent, about 5.5 or so. Seems like this was a carnage-filled race for everybody else. That the wreck just off the start kind of honestly set the tone for the rest of the race, and then the 7 going straight up the track and drawing the 2 did not help things at all. Looks like the 7 and 11 will probably be on pit road for a little bit if they had already used fast repairs. I would have guessed based on the wreck with the 2, the 7 had already used one, but I could be wrong. Just expect if he was still in 10th that he had used a fast repair or would have been further back if he hadn't on the initial wreck. I'm across the line to have 7 to go. Nobody in front really, so in theory should just be a clean, boring race for the rest of it. Don't even think there's any lap traffic I should have to contend with. Of course, that could backfire in my face and you could have somebody easily wreck or have problems, but right now it looks clean and risk-free, hopefully. Just gotta keep concentrating on hitting my marks. And should have 5 to go this time by. Should be in a fairly good spot to finally bring home a win. Be the first one for this season, and it's been quite a while since I've had one on this channel. And maybe I might have had one official. I think the only other one I can remember would be a recruitment race for the Pro Stock real street stock series that I run with Team Good Squad. I think that might be the last one I can remember recording and posting, so
We're matching race pace.
if I can get this, it feels good to finally have one, even if it is a weaker strength of field overall. Three to go this time by. Gonna be approaching the 11, but in all honesty, I may not even attempt to get by him. Might just lay back and run as slow as it takes to stay behind him. Don't see any threat from the 5 at all,
Come
so
on, Jake. 2 to go. Stay focused.
don't really need to worry about that if I decide to lay back.
18.64.
Definitely catching the 11, so I would assume I would get to his back before the end of the next lap. Gonna get the white flag this time. He's gonna roll out. He's gonna stay way high, but I'm still just gonna roll back. Just wanted to keep it to the low side of the track, so that way if he came down, he wouldn't come into me. Perfectly fine with running a much slower lap and giving up that time to be able to finally cross the line, get the checkers. So, fortunate for me to have avoided the big wreck off the start, and then see the 7 coming up the track and being able to avoid him. But you know, I will have to look. I feel like I might have had the pace to still avoid the or get by the 2 as well. So park it here on the stripe. Jump out, take a look. I'm gonna look at the tires quickly. 93, 92, pretty happy with that. Car felt really balanced, really good. I mean, I'm sure there's ways that I can definitely make it faster, but it felt nice overall. So let's take a look at that start. That was just an absolutely crazy start. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll watch it from this perspective, then I'll go to the reverse perspective and see what happened. We'll look at it from the 1, because the 2 just went a lot earlier than the 1 was expecting, way earlier than I was expecting, and that's where the problems happened behind. So I want to say, let's see what happened with the 5, if that was the issue. So 5's gonna get going. I mean, there was big gaps between everybody, but I mean, the 2 definitely caught everybody off guard, so let's see. Okay, so the 1 just flat out gets into the wall, so we'll watch it from the 1's perspective, because that's the issue there. So the 5 kind of washed up, but the 1, I think, just got on the throttle too early, got tight, gets up the wall, climbs down, that gets the 3, and then comes back down, gets the 13, which sends the 13 around. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else that happens out of that, or if it was just really those 2. Looks like the 13 at some point gets into the, you can see the 3 had to dodge way down, so 13 ends up coming down, getting the 7. 7 flips. So let's see if he tries to get it turned around. 13 ends up driving into him. I think this is going to be... So let's watch it from the 7's perspective now. I think this is where he ended up pulling out in front of the 2. Yeah, he tries to turn around and like goes up the track and just stops. So from the 2's perspective, we'll back this up and watch this. So he's got clean track. He sees the 3 coming. He tries to go as high as he can, and unfortunately just is not quite able to thread that as the 7's just continuing to go. I don't think he was ever threading that one. So that definitely would have been tough for him. We watch it from my viewpoint. I can see him coming up the track here, and that was when I decided to, I mean, I was kind of taking my normal line anyways, but that was when I decided to go inside and just got the big benefit of being able to avoid the 7 there, and that gave me a big lead. So let's go check out the results. That was just an absolutely hectic start. Absolutely hectic start. I mean, not good at all, really. So, yeah, really weak strength of field, 14-13, single splits. Kind of to be expected given that it is New Year's Eve and the time. But, yeah. Let's see. 367. Yeah, it was about 600s faster than the 2. So I bet you I would have had the pace to get by him even without that. But nice to be able to get that in. So 62 iRating gets me back up to 2300 and able to gain 0.25, so up to 1.5. So probably 2 more races like that should at least be able to get back up over the 2.0 range. At least feel a little bit comfortable. Almost a little over 9.5 second lead. So, and that was with me even giving up quite a bit at the end. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Glad to have finally been able to avoid a bunch of chaos, get you guys something clean and green, and almost led every single lap, but it felt like the car was just really well. I'm sure in a much stronger strength of field I would have been back half, for sure with some of the pace I've seen out of people, but definitely felt good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to leave any feedback, any comments below. Love hearing from you guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more races. So until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.